This is the Skoda Elroq and it's an electric family car. So you probably think it's quite boring, don't you? Yeah, just an uninspiring box for transporting human flesh. Well, you're right, but actually, as necessary evils go, this one is actually not too bad. That's because the Elroq has a killer feature, and it's not the face, which looks like the Mandalorian's helmet. It's not the price. Around £350 a month if you lease with Autotrader. It's one simple little detail round the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I might need a drum roll for this. Go on, do it. Okay, cool. This is the most incredible, the most amazing boot in the world. All right. I know what you're thinking. I'm overhyping it, but check this out, okay? It does the usual thing. So you kick under there, you step back, and the boot will open. Oh, don't embarrass me. Kick under there, and the boot will open. Come on, we practiced this, didn't we? The boot will open automatically, but that's not the feature I want to show you, okay? And the volume, 470 litres, is not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is the organisation in the Elroq. Check this out. On the left-hand side, we've got shelves, top and bottom. It's like a bunk bed for your stuff, a junk bed. And we're not done, because over here, another shelf, plus below that, a little strap. That is organisation at its finest, but we're not done. Let me introduce you to this bad boy here. You know what that is? That's a hammock, a boot hammock. When have you ever seen a hammock in a boot of a car before? It just doesn't happen. Skoda are going to extreme lengths to keep your stuff from sloshing about all over the place. You put your stuff in there and it just doesn't move. It cushions it really nicely. And there's a little hook for your shopping bags. Speaking of hooks, another hook over here and another one over here. But we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen, because you might have noticed the parcel shelf is unlike any other parcel shelf on the planet. This one actually has some netting to store your stuff. This is a bag for your charging cable, a dedicated bag that just tucks into that little section down there. Absolutely fantastic. But we're not even finished yet because the boot goodness goes on. These guys are like NASA, but for storage, right under here, right? You might be thinking, why have you got a mat in your boot when you've got a floor? This is genius. You can actually flip it upside down. That is basically waterproof. What it means is you can put your muddy boots, your football boots, your wellies, bang there, no problem whatsoever, without having to worry about it dirtying your main boot. And when you're done with it, you can fold it, slide it out the way, and examine the next good thing about this boot, and that is underfloor storage. We've got a little compartment down here for your granny charger. Back there, we've got two separate partitions. And if those partitions ain't partitioned in the way your partitions want to be partitions, guess what? You can partition yourself using these Velcro partitioners. Bosh, bang. Then you got yourself a custom partition. This thing is just genius. Most companies, right? They got like a boot department. Skoda have got boot scientists. Next level. So as you've probably worked out, I could probably write a 2,000 word essay on that boot. I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on reviewing the car now. And let's get the basics out of the way, right? Including the price. This thing starts at just over £30,000, which isn't too bad actually. A lot of people will say 30 grand for a little family runabout. But if you adjust for inflation, guess what? 30 grand was around 15 grand back in 1996. So considering this is an all-electric family car, that price actually isn't too bad. It's quite a pleasant car to drive as well. A lot of EVs can feel quite stiffly sprung. This isn't hyper plush, but it does ride over imperfections in the road really well. I wonder if that's because of how they've adjusted the suspension or whether it's partly down to the tyres, which to me look almost overinflated. Honestly, have a close look at them. They look like someone's pumped up a balloon. The pressures are actually fine, but they're slightly comical in nature, although I'll forgive it because, hey, look, it rides pretty well. The seats are comfortable as well. They hold you in place. There's good support, both at the bottom of your back and at the top of your back. This is the kind of car you can sit in for absolutely ages, no problem whatsoever. And hey, it's electric, so that means it's quiet. Really good daily. It's a good little car for pottering around in, to be honest. Very maneuverable. I'm just going to demonstrate a little parallel park just here. to see exactly how easy it is to park. Bang it in reverse. I haven't actually got a 360 camera on this particular car. That would be handy, but even without it, but it's not a small crossover. But look at that, easy to park. Now, one thing I want to show you is this. It's got a super wide angle lens on the backs. So when you're pulling out of a driveway, you can see left and right. You can actually see my cameraman just there. Hello, Tej. So yeah, you don't need a 360 camera, but yeah, very easy to park. The amount of range you get will depend on the version of the Elroq you go for. So it comes in Elroq 50, Elroq 60, and Elroq 85, and those numbers correspond to the number of kilowatt hours of storage you get in the batteries. If you don't know what a kilowatt hour is, welcome to the future. And also you can check out a link to my EVs for Dummies video, which I'm going to link to in the description box below. Check it out. This is the Elroq 60 with the middle battery. According to Skoda, this one will go between 245 and 265 miles. Realistically though, you're looking at more like 200. Maybe a tiny bit less on the motorway. And I know that because I've been averaging 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Still, 200 miles is fine for town driving. I guarantee it. Speaking of guarantees, I also guarantee that you're missing out if you don't have this on your phone. It's the Autotrader app. And not only will it help you sell your car, but it will also help you choose from nearly 500,000 cars in the UK, new as well as used. And if you're not into cars, it also has bikes, vans, motorhomes, e-bikes, trucks, even plant and farm machinery. I don't know what that is, but I really want to drift it. Oh, and the app also has dark mode, so you can do it at night. Download it from the App Store or Google Play Store right now. Anyway, enough about range. I want to show you something way more important. The boot! You thought we were done. We're not done. The boot features go on for days. I'm going to use the button this time in case it embarrasses me. Right, here's another feature that Skoda have incorporated into the storage of the Elroq. Okay, now it involves the boot floor, and what you can do is actually lower it. So right now, as standard, it lays flush, which makes loading objects quite easy. But if you don't want it flush and you want to maximize storage space, for example, for suitcases, you can actually replace this like that, and now it drops by about 5 inches or so to maximize your storage space. And that's not the only thing you can drop. See this parcel shelf? I showed you that earlier. But you can also drop the parcel shelf. You knock that out and it's got a separate set of hooks just there, so you can drop your parcel shelf. I don't even know why you'd want to drop your parcel shelf, but I love that. I also love nets. Let me show you this. There are several nets available with the Elroq, all designed to offer extra flexibility. You can clip a smaller net to the left-hand side and also clip a larger net designed to run across the far end of the boot. Plus other nets on the right-hand side and even on the floor. The one at the back even opens up to act as a kind of, well, bag that you can use to carry extra stuff. Overkill? Maybe. Cool? Definitely. I know what this is for now, this little parcel shelf trick. That's really good because you can put your heavy bags on the bottom and then your fragile stuff on top. That's really good. And also, do you know what this is? This is a baby changing mat. Yeah, you can change your baby nappies up here. It's even got a little lip to stop your baby rolling away when you drive off. That's genius. They've done quite a good job when it comes to the interior as well. There's 3 different levels of interior on the Elroq, including loft, lodge, and suite. Suite costs over £1,000, lodge is in the middle, and then loft is the entry-level one. And that's what I'm in today. But believe it or not, it's actually quite nice. Look at this material. That looks like denim. It's almost like Skoda went into a fashion shop to get loads and loads of pairs of jeans to cover the interior, and I think it looks quite pleasant. Technology is also very good. I want to show you the sat-nav in particular. That's quite useful. If you look at this white outline there, that shows you how far you can drive on your current range, which is a very useful touch. And just the general speed and responsiveness of the sat-nav is very, very good. You can zoom in on, I don't know what town that is, but the speed at which you can transfer from one location to the other is quite astonishing. We've also got some ambient lights, so you can customize the lighting in the car. So you can go for red, green, whatever color you want to personalize it to yourself. There are things that I don't like, including the fact that everything is done through the screen, including the climate control. I'd prefer it if this car had dedicated climate control buttons, but on the whole, they've done a pretty decent job here. In fact, they've gone the extra mile and they've installed lots of what they call simply clever features that are designed to make your life easier. I'll list them right now, in fact, and I'll also tell you my rating for each one. First up, umbrellas in the doors, just like you get in a Rolls Royce. Usefulness score, 10 out of 10, especially in the UK. Next, a removable storage compartment in the rear. You can keep your stuff here, or you can remove it completely to give yourself a flat floor. Handy when you're carrying 3 passengers in the back. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Extra pockets in the back seats, just big enough to stash your mobile phone. I'm not convinced by this one, but I won't complain. 5 out of 10. A ticket holder on the windscreen. I'm giving this one 0 out of 10. Just put your ticket on the dashboard like everyone else, you show off. Oh, and did I mention the boot? Yeah, I think I might have done. Anyway, usefulness score, 436.3 out of 10. In the back, the Elroq is surprisingly spacious, actually. It doesn't seem like a big car, and yeah, I've got a ton of legroom here. That front seat is adjusted for me. I'm 5'11", and look at the space I've got. That's partly down to the fact that it's got kind of a hollowed out section there to give me more room, and also headroom is actually really nice as well. Again, slightly hollowed out just to give you a bit more space for your bumps. On top of that, we don't talk a lot about this on the channel, but I've also got a lot of foot room. Your foot just slides underneath the seat in front of you, allowing you to stretch out, and that makes a lot of difference. Plus, these seats are really nice as well. One thing I want to draw your attention to are these kind of side bolsters on the rear seat. Normally you expect that on seats in the front, but having that on the rear seat also helps to keep you in place. Plus, have a look at this. So on the front edge of the seats, it almost looks like a ski slope, almost like it's kind of like kicking up at the bottom. And the reason for that is, in a lot of electric cars, the batteries are located underneath the car and they cause the seats to be located higher, and that means that you don't get a lot of thigh support under your leg. But Skoda have thought about that and raised the edge of the seat to give you a bit more support on your thighs. They're giving you solutions to problems you didn't even know you had. That's really good. Downsides? Not many, to be honest. I've got 2 USB ports, I've got dedicated vents, although I can't control the heating from back here. I've also got these little windows behind me just to let in a bit more light. You've got the usual cup holders down here. Yeah, it's just a pleasant place to spend time. Good family car, this thing. Okay, 2 things I want to do. First of all, I want to take it onto a motorway or a fast road to see what it's like when you're cruising at high speed. And secondly, I want to take it to a B road to chuck it around a bit and see if it's fun. Let's start with a motorway. Not as quiet as I would have liked. There's a little bit of road noise coming up, minimal wind noise, but still, you don't get the roar of an internal combustion engine, so it ends up being quite a relaxing place to spend time. Another thing I really enjoy is that this car has its own active cruise control system, which means it will accelerate, it will brake, and even steer itself and stay within its lane when you're on the road. So right now I've got it activated and I can take my hands off the wheel slightly and the car will actually just do its thing and basically take me where I want to go. You've got to keep your hands on the wheel to let it know that you're in control, but this is really useful for when you're on long journeys, because what it means is you haven't got to fully concentrate on steering and braking and accelerating. The car will do most of the hard work for you, and all you've got to do is just be a piece of meat holding onto the wheel. The sat-nav is quite fun too, because it does something that not many sat-navs do. It gives you really precise indications of where you should position yourself on the motorway so that you don't miss your exit. Also, along with that range bubble I mentioned earlier, which shows you how far you can drive, the car also displays nearby charging stations and how fast they can recharge the car. So you haven't got to look it up on your mobile phone separately, which isn't always convenient or safe. The car just shows you where you need to go to make the most of its 175 kilowatt DC fast charging capability. All right. Last job. Let's have a bit of fun, shall we? And don't at me. Yes, you can have fun in a family car, and you can have fun in a Skoda. let's talk power. Most of these Elroqs are going to be driven by a single motor at the back of the car driving the rear wheels, and the amount of power you get depends on the version that you go for. If you go for the Elroq 50, you'll get 170 horsepower. Go for the Elroq 85 and you get 256. But in the one I'm in today, the Elroq 60, that'll give you 204 horsepower. And the 0 to 62, it's not going to melt your face. It's just over 8 seconds. But you know what? That's kind of adequate. It's par for the course with this kind of car. What makes it feel all the better though is the torque. 310 Newton meters, again, not the most I've heard of, but still, you get instant access to that torque because it's fully electric. You put your foot down and it responds instantly. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this car's cornering ability as well. You can carry a surprising amount of speed through the bends and the grip is there. These balloon tires don't just smooth out the road, they also give you a decent amount of tenacity in the corners. That is quite impressive. And then on the exit, squeeze the accelerator and that torque. Yeah, do you know what? You can have a laugh in this. You really can. Do you know what I'm not so keen on though are the brakes. I think they're strong enough, just about. The problem I have is that they don't feel as consistent as I'd like. And it's not the brakes themselves, it's the regen. So when you lift off the accelerator, the electric motor slows the car down by regenerating energy back into the battery. And the amount of regen you get seems different at different speeds. So let's say you're doing 30 miles an hour and you lift off, the regen you get there is completely different to the regen you get at 20 miles an hour. And wrapping your head around that and trying to gauge exactly how the car will slow down when you lift off the accelerator, it can mess with your head slightly. Having said all of that though, it's still an enjoyable car to drive. Would I like more power? Yeah, absolutely. Are Skoda going to provide it? Yes, they will. They will be releasing a VRS version of the Elroq, and that is going to have all-wheel drive from 2 electric motors and over 340 horsepower. That should be a bit of a giggle.
So far, so positive, but in the interest of balance, it's not all good news. So allow me to take a moment or two to offer some constructive criticism. The Elroq screen is a lot, probably too big and asks owners to be too reliant on virtual buttons. The interior door handles, they're made of cheap plastic and actually feel a bit unfinished. The audio system isn't all that, and neither is the touch volume control, which doesn't really work if you've got slightly damp hands from the rain. And then there's the extremely tiny driver display, which may as well not exist. It's comically small and makes reading some information, like the date or the time, a bit more difficult than it should be.
So there we go, the Skoda Elroq. You thought it was going to be boring, didn't you? Not at all. This is a really well put together family car that they have clearly lavished a lot of time, attention and boot science on. They've clearly put a lot of thought into this car and it shows. And for me, this is actually one of the better examples of electric family cars on the market. Oh yeah, one more thing. Look at that. Ice scraper that doubles up as a tire depth gauge. They've thought of everything. Sorry, the little things get me excited. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.